Welcome to another episode of Rod Goes Vlog. Today is Sunday, the 8th of September 2024, and I want to discuss about the latest installment of Quiet Place, this monster, not really horror, but action saga about blind monsters, and also the topic of how plants are more difficult to care for than pets or any other living being, although this sounds maybe counterintuitive. Why is that? Well, let's get started. Quiet Place Date 1 is the third installment of the Quiet Place saga. Let's remember, this movie, or the very first movie, was about a family that lives in a sort of post-apocalyptic world of sorts where they need to be extremely quiet as there is some sort of creatures that are very sensitive to sound and have ravaged society, have destroyed humanity, and they are one of the very few survivors on the planet. So the only way to survive is just by staying quiet or getting very close to a water body such that these very noise sensitive creatures that are blind cannot detect them. So this was the premise of the first movie. It was a basic premise but an entertaining one. Let's say this is something that we have seen many times. Yes, it's nothing new. There is no novelty behind. But it was entertaining, had action, you could connect with the family and so on. And as is often the case, well, this triggered a full saga and series of movies. We had a follow-up, a chapter 2. This one was a downgrade in terms of the quality because it was pretty much more of the same. It had a little bit of a backstory. You could see some of the origins of these creatures. So the first scenes of the second one were about how these creatures somehow make it to Earth. And now we are in the third installment, day 1. The premise is you have a terminal cancer patient that is in New York. This person sees how these creatures arrive to Earth and has to deal with the whole destruction and chaos that happens during these first hours when these creatures attack our planet. And the plot is very simple. This person needs to go from A to B and somehow survive. And during this trajectory, the person will meet multiple friends, allies, and so on. You will see how everything has consequences. You make a mistake, you die, and so on. So nothing here out of the ordinary. The fact that this person has nothing to lose, in a sense, by being in a late stage in a cancer disease makes it more interesting because even though this person will not live even in the best possible scenario, this person has a will to survive. And not only that, but also to help others, to help a pet, a cat, and so on. So this is what makes it entertaining. The main protagonist, you can sympathize with the person. The actress makes a very good performance, and the special effects are reasonable and so on. But my main criticism will be, why does this need to be a Quiet Place movie? This could be any other movie. You do not need to have the Quiet Place brand or the Quiet Place sort of like universe. This could be a nature catastrophe movie. This could be also creature from space attacking movie or anything else. Anything else with a Quiet Place. And likely, or the most probable reason why they're doing this is because obviously this is already an established brand. People will go watch it. So it might be that they just like slapped these minus they bought the script, they bought scripts somewhere, they had it and say, hey, let us rebrand it and then let's call it A Quiet Place movie. It reminded me a little bit also to the Cloverfield universe, where also this is also another universe that started with a monster movie, and then it diverged into different things. There was like one in space, there was one in a bunker, and so on. It went into very wild directions, and although there were some connections in between them, there was something that kept the thread together in this universe. You could make the argument that the three of them are separate stories that do not need to be connected at all, and that they just did it for financial reasons. And you can see it in A Quiet Place, where it has been critically successful. Critics have liked the movie, and also audiences have gone and watched it and so on. This movie came out in June, so here I'm a bit of a late comer in watching it, but I just finished watching it. In that I have a few minutes available, then I watch some scenes and so on, so it has taken me a while to finishing watching it. And in terms of financial performance, the movie has grossed almost 300 million with a budget of around 67 million. So this means that likely we will see another Quiet Place movie at some point in the next couple of years. And this adds to my long-standing arch of why does everything need to be a universe, a saga, a series? Why cannot we just have simple stories? This movie was reasonable. This story was well told. It was entertaining. It doesn't need to be a Quiet Place movie. It could just be, you could just call it Day One. Day One, and that's it. And the story of this woman who has to survive because catastrophe and chaos has ravaged our planet and society. That will be sufficient. No need to connect it with Quiet Place. The director, John Krasinski, from the first movie and also second movie, he's not in this movie. He's another person. Also, Emily Blunt, the main character in the first and second movies, and also the wife of the director. She's not in this movie and so on. So, why connect it at all? Another thing also that I disliked about it is that they show the monsters too much. By now, there's no mystery how they look. And I do think that they look a little bit like the Cloverfield monster. I see some similarities behind. And then goes to show how, yeah, so why cannot we be more creative with monsters? And also, why do we need to show them at all? What I like about the very first movie was that you don't really see what was behind. You just saw that there was this very fast, um, very ruthless creature that if you were slightly noisy, immediately would come after you. And there was no way to escape. It was game over. And also, it was rather so unclear how you can really kill them, destroy them, and so on. So that, I like that. I like when there is some mystery. I like when you not get everything put on a silver plate. And by now we have seen how these monsters act. If I'm not mistaken, in the second movie they also show their weaknesses, so we also know how they can be, if not destroyed, at least how you can counter them. So overall, I feel that it is something where people say, "Hey, this is another cash machine. Let's try to extract everything we can until the very last end." Should you watch it? Well, I would say definitely there are other options for monster movies and so on. So, for example, now I keep thinking, hey, Cloverfield. Cloverfield is worth watching. The first one, also the one in the bunker, even the one in space entertaining. But if you have already watched those recently, then yeah, go and watch Quiet Place Day One. But keep in mind that really what you're watching is a movie that didn't need to be a Quiet Place movie. If you have already watched it, do you like it? Let me know in the comments. And also my second point for today, it is about how plants are really harder to care than pretty much any other living being. Which is funny because normally people who do not want to care for pets or for children or for anything else, they say, I'll get a plant. Because plants, they don't complain, you do not hear them, they're just there. But this is exactly what made them so hard. In that You never really know when catastrophe will strike a plant. If they will get infested, if they will be maybe like they will have overwatering, maybe they will not have enough water and so on, they're getting dry. It's hard to see this in advance until it is in a later advanced stage, meaning only until like really the plant is getting very ill, is about to die, is getting root rot because you overwater it and so on, then you realize, oh, something is going on. You do not have really any cues. There is no crying baby, there is no um, dog that is barking whatsoever, no. So this means that you have to be very, very precise with plants, and you have to have so many things under your control. But most households do not really have things under their control, right? So you cannot really say, hey, if you don't have AC, how do you control temperature, also humidity or dryness, sunlight, etc.? Many factors. You cannot really have full control of them. And plants really need stability. They don't like changes. I am sharing this story because I have a large money tree, beautiful plant. It's actually a tree, but beautiful tree. It's very, very pretty, but it's very sensitive. The leaves are very thin, and this means that they are very fragile. For example, they can get burned by sunlight easily. Also, they are very prone to getting spider mites if the environment is dry. Also, if you do not have a very drainable soil, they can very easily get root rot. So you have to be careful. You have to have a very airy and not heavy soil and so on. And now I'm fighting for the second time in the last 3 4 months with spider mite infestation, where I thought I had already removed all of them, I had already won the battle, but no. Maybe I won the previous battle, but I have not yet won the war. So I'm fighting against them. Do you have any plans? Do you have a money tree? How do you keep them happy? How do you keep them, so to say, like low maintenance, such as you're not investing a lot of time in them? Well, share it also in the comments. And as usual, like, subscribe, and let's connect tomorrow for another episode of Rod Goes Vlog. Until next time.